So if you've never learned a foreign language, how do you expect to be able to teach one? I mean, will you be able to empathize with your students? Will you understand the struggles they're going through when they're transferring different patterns from their L1 to this new L2? Of course not. You'll have no idea. So how does that affect you as a teacher? Is that going to make you a better teacher, having never studied a foreign language, or a worse teacher? I'm pretty sure you can figure that answer out yourself. So, start learning a foreign language. It's not as difficult as you think. In fact, there are many resources out there to help you along the way. So today, that's what we're going to discuss. Some of the more traditional and some of the more modern resources to help TESL newbies learn the language of the country that they want to reside in, the new place they're going to. Okay, I'm Teacher David, and this is TESL for Newbies. When TESL newbies first decide to go to a new country, when they decide to sign a contract, for example, as I did in Japan, the first thing I did was go out and buy a phrase book, like one of these. The phrase book is there to help you learn just some, as it says, catchphrases to help you get through, muddle through the initial stages of you living in that foreign country, foreign to you. So they have things like what's for breakfast, greetings, how to order food, numbers, things like that. They can be quite handy. And because they're rather small, you can just carry them in your pocket. They're easy. Let me show you. Nope, not that side. There we go. Phrase book. I've had this phrase book forever, it feels like. And you can see it's well worn, all kinds of tabs through it, eating, drinking, phrases, survival Chinese dictionary. It's got everything, but it's all phrases. It doesn't really help you have conversations. It doesn't really help you in having a real understanding of the local language, but it's great for helping you get by. Once you've been in the country for a while, just like I was here in Taiwan after a few months, you start to talk to people and you start to learn, hey, if I really want to get serious about learning the language, the local language, where should I go? What should I do? Back when I first came here, everybody had the same thing. Go to NCKU, the local, our town's local university, kind of the popular big university with foreign languages department. They put out their own textbook, which looks a lot like this one right here, and there's different levels. You could go there and study for years that language. So I studied it for a couple semesters, a few semesters, a couple levels. It helped quite a bit. Although it's very helpful, much better than just simply a phrase book. Obviously, you're in a class. I met people from around the world. We could chat with each other. We helped each other. We studied together. It was great. But again, it still has that authenticity problem, by which I mean it wasn't exactly authentic for this situation. So that you need the locals for. You need to get out and meet some locals. And there's a couple ways you can do that. So if you really want to know how to speak the local language, the way the locals speak the language, learn it from a local. There are two ways to do this, actually. One is private tutoring. So you can pay someone, you can find them online, there's lots of services around, but you can pay somebody to tutor you, and you can go meet them, maybe say like Starbucks or somewhere, and then you set up perhaps a syllabus or some kind of lesson plan, a series of things you want to learn, and they can come there and they'll teach you that maybe a few times a week, depending on how fast you want to learn the local language. So that's one way. You're paying a local to help teach you to make sure you understand the local language. And the great thing about paying a local to do that is they can help you with everyday things that you need to learn. Like for me in Thailand here, learn how to fill up the gas, learn how to order at a breakfast shop, those kinds of things. However, if you're a bit low on cash, and you might be because you're new here, But another option rather is to go to a language exchange. There are places. This is just one that I found listed here on the internet from Tainan. But there are dozens of them online, internet communities. There are so many options available to you that it could become overwhelming, actually. But there are some risks with language exchanges. Sometimes language exchange is actually kind of devolves into people just wanting to find dates. So if you actually want to be serious about your private tutoring or a private tutor, and you want to be serious about your language exchange, you got to be a little bit picky, because you can get people into it. You can meet people who are into that teaching or learning for the wrong reasons. So they're kind of actually just trying to sneak away in to get to know you. Okay, as you can see, those 4 methods I just went through: a phrase book, then to a full textbook/course, then to private tutoring, and then to kind of self-learning, free online learning. Those are kind of a normal progression people go through learning a language. Just gently dipping your toe in, getting into it a bit more seriously, immersing yourself into it, and then finally doing something to really hone your skills. But if you're the kind of person who really, really likes using online resources, especially new online resources, that brings us to our bonus. That is AI. AI has the potential or the possibility to chat with you in any language that you want. I have a coworker. He kind of introduced this to me. I hadn't really used it myself. He went on to whatever AI program he's using. I'm not sure. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But what he did was he was talking to the AI app like a person, and then asked the app to switch, and then they started speaking in Mandarin Chinese. And he could ask the AI interface, whatever it is, hey, magical box, how do I say I want to get some calamari in Chinese and in Mandarin? And then it would tell you. And then you could repeat it back, and it would say, let's try to fix up your tone a little bit, because Mandarin is a tonal language. They have 4 tones plus a neutral. So it can even help you with your tones. They're so hard for people like me and native speakers who come from a language without anything remotely like that. So AI, especially for those of you who are younger, who are just getting into TESL, teaching English as a second language, AI learning might be a way to help you. It might be a way that helps you a lot. Okay, so now that you've started to learn the local language, soon you'll feel much better, much freer, thanks to your new communication skills. But there are still more ways to get more freedom, or the feeling of freedom, the feeling of the new culture opening up to you while you're overseas. And that's by improving your documentation. There are a few more documents as opposed to just the basic visa that you can get that are going to make your life, if you plan to stay a little more longer term, a whole lot better while you're overseas. Those documents are the subject of next week's video. Okay? Excellent. I'll catch you then. Bye for now.